welcome back to my channel. So we are in spring. This is my favorite season of the year, and I wanted to share my top 10 of 2022 spring fragrances. These are what I've been reaching for the most, but also what I hope to be reaching for the most. I've kind of rediscovered some fragrances in my collection and pulled out some old favorites. I made a conscious effort to not pull out fragrances that I think I talked about last year and the year before. So if you see some missing that I said were my faves, it's only because I wanted to change it up, but I still obviously love those. So without any further ado, let's get into it. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. I will link everything in the description box below, and let's get started. So the only one I want to talk about that is not purchasable would be currently, unless you get it secondhand and stuff, is from Zara, and it's Hip Hop Red Apple. And out of the trio of scents that came out, I really liked the Rose Marshmallow Candy, but this one and then the pink one, whatever that one is, I've worn less so. But you can see there's still a dent in this, and I think it's because this is just such a spring scent for me that while I really liked it, I ended up always feeling like I wanted this in springtime. And it kind of smells a little bit like sour green candy, green apple candy. It doesn't really have a red apple or like red delicious scent. Thank goodness, because I prefer this sort of scent. And I really like it. I think the color is very spring, but it's not your typical spring floral. We will get into those. There's a whole lot of florals, obviously. But this is sort of a more youthful, fruity, slightly sweet take. And I've been reaching for this one more so, and I feel like it just really suits spring weather. So love that. If you can get it secondhand, I think these trio was like a kids collection. And I really found I disagreed with that, especially Rose Marshmallow Candy. That was a better fragrance than some of the other Zara Jo Malones that she released for adults. Like, that one is incredible. And so if you can find these three in the kids collection, I actually really recommend them, and I really, really rate them. So moving along, another more fruity one before we get to all the florals was my 4711 Lime and Nutmeg. I reach for this a lot in the mornings when I'm looking to be refreshed, kind of year round, but I feel like I favor this one a lot. You guys know, if you haven't, I have a huge video, very long, on all my 4711, so check that out if you want a full breakdown. But I've got a whole bunch, and this is one I really gravitate towards a lot. Especially now, I feel like it has the brightness that I'd want in a spring scent. It's really got a beautiful lime in there, but there is kind of like a tinge of nutmeg. It's not, I think it's more lime predominant for sure, but it just kind of gives it a little bit of edge. I really like it. It's very refreshing and very much recommend. These 4711 fragrances for an eau de cologne price are spectacular. So love that one. On the other side of the spectrum, scent-wise, we've got Under the Lemon Trees by Maison Martin Margiela. And this is the one that's supposed to be based on the city Palermo in 1987. So again, this is more of a lime scent or lemon scent rather than lime. Oops. I love this fragrance. I think out of the, Replica line, this one doesn't get a whole lot of hype or love the way some of the others do. And listen, I get it. By the Fireplace, Lipstick On, Jazz Club, those are spectacular. There's a lot of scents that are perhaps more unique and interesting than this one. And maybe more people, or a lot of people, aren't kind of wowed by citrus anymore, but I think this is a really beautiful Italian citrus scent. It's very unisex. I completely agree with that, and not all of them in the Replica line kind of toe that line as well as this one does. I think it's really, really underrated, and a really beautiful kind of late spring when it's getting even warmer, like leading into summer scent. Spectacular. Can't wait to wear it. Again, I kind of wear it throughout the year. whenever I'm looking to evoke Spanish. I've obviously got Spain on the mind, but I was going to say springtime feelings, and I can't recommend that one enough. Okay, so now I'm looking at 3 bottles that are kind of all the same size, similar body or like bottle shape. So we're going to get to those. The first one is a Jo Malone scent, and this is one, I'll be honest, I wasn't really into when I first picked up because I bought this in December, very close to Christmas, and this is Osmanthus Blossom cologne, and I just felt like it was not really speaking to me. It definitely wasn't in season. I got it at a CCO, so it was, I think it's probably discontinued, but it just really wasn't suitable to the time. And I do wear fragrances I like year round, or I mix it up like I mentioned with those last ones. But this is a scent that I think really needs to be worn in spring. Probably summer too, but definitely not any cold weather. This is a very fresh, tart floral. It's very light. Obviously it's a cologne, so it's not going to really last very long. It's very devoid of all warmth. It's very bright and light and tart and citrusy. And again, I think it doesn't get enough love. Probably because there's a million and one Jo Malone scents, and there's a lot more popular ones that are sold, you know, in their regular line. But if you can find Osmanthus Blossom in a CCO or secondhand, they're really going for pretty good prices, especially for Jo Malone prices. And her original line, I think, does not hold a candle to her Zara fragrances that she releases, because I think they just match the price point a little bit better for lasting power and stuff, except for Wood Sage and Sea Salt, which is a favorite, and I won't hear any different. But Osmanthus Blossom, I've been reaching for, and I think now is when it really is starting to bloom and wear beautifully, but the dead of December was not doing it any favors. The next 2 that I mentioned that are similar bottle, you know, shapes are both from Maison Lancome. So the first one I won't spend a lot of time on because I wear this one year round. It's quickly made its way to being, I think, I wear it the most out of all of them. It's hard to say what's my favorite, but I really do wear it the most out of all my Maison Lancomes, which is insane because I have a small bottle of this, but I will eventually get a full bottle of this one, and this is Figue agrume. I never expected to like a citrusy fig scent so much for it to become like hardcore love. There is something so intangibly delicious about this. Like, I think it has that kind of quality to it that makes it slightly beachy, in the way that like Big Shampoo does, or Coral Pop by Jill Sander. This has that sort of quality. I'm not saying those fragrances all share similar fragrance notes, because they don't, but they all have that quality where they're all similar. If you like one, you're gonna like all 3, I promise you. I like regret, and I have a regret for not taking a shot and just buying this in the full bottle, because now I don't feel right getting a full bottle when I still have this to go. But I love this, and I really, really think it's one of the best fragrances in the line by a long shot, and it needs love. I wear it year round, but I think it's really special in spring. The other one is very aptly named, and that's Pivoine Printemps. Printemps meaning spring in French. So this one, I have to say, I haven't really worn year round, and because where I store these Maison Lancomes, my Figue agrume stands in front of it. When I pulled this one out, I'm like, let me just, to try out before this video, I've just been eyeing this a little bit more. So I've been wearing it this past little bit, and I didn't give this one enough credit when I first got it, or it just really didn't surprise me, because I know that when I hauled it, I was like, you know, it's all right. It's really nice. There is a real juiciness to this that I did not give it credit for. It's a really beautiful spring floral, and I think it isn't too kind of flower shoppy, which isn't always what you want to go for a floral. Sometimes it's right, sometimes the mood isn't there. I really like this one. I take back what I said. Sometimes you just need to take a break with scents you're on the fence about, and Pivoine Printemps is a definite recommend for springtime. All right, so 3 more to go. The next one I want to talk about is perhaps the most quintessential spring scent. It's just like, I don't know, it's always screamed spring to me, and that's Roses and Roses by Miss Dior, in the Miss Dior collection by Dior. I know that this fragrance doesn't get a whole lot of love. Personally, I've never loved the name, and that's always deterred me from getting it, but this was one of the scents where I got for like an extortionately good deal. Someone was selling like their brand new bottle unused, and so I picked it up, and I think it's a very safe, quintessential spring scent. It reminds me of a lot of other fragrances out there. It kind of reminds me of I think like Sexy Blossom by Michael Kors, or a lot of rose peony scents. Off the top of my head, I think Peonia Nobile has it, but it's a very safe floral. It wouldn't be your typical thing that I would say like, wow, this is the floral that stands out. It doesn't, but I think it really shines beautifully in springtime, and it's so apt for springtime that I have to give credit where it's due, and it is a really, really nice one for springtime. Especially, this just makes me think of like day dates, girly dates out, lunchtime with your friends, you know, maybe a mother-daughter day out for Mother's Day, since that falls in springtime, at least in North America it does. So you just gotta love it for what it is, and it's a beautiful bottle, like with the houndstooth and everything. You gotta love it for springtime at least. Then the second last one is, I struggled choosing one because I feel like, if we're being honest, the entire Jardin series from Hermes is an ode to spring. There are some that are a bit more summer, maybe, but in my view, they're just like an ode to spring. They're an ode to florals, they're an ode to nature, to green scents, to citrus, to brightness, to even earthiness. And other than Lagoon, that unfortunately goes a little murky and aquatic, they're all so beautifully like articulated different areas of spring and nature and florals. I picked my favorite, which is Un Jardin en Méditerranée. Beautiful sprayer on it. This is undeniably my favorite. I just have a lot of good memories tied to this scent, even though I picked it up very recently. I've sampled it a lot throughout the years. I love the bottle. The entire range, I think you can't go wrong with, but this one it's got a really beautiful mix of citrus in its opening as well. So love that one. And finally, the last one I think is my favorite of the greens. Like I don't really gravitate all that much towards a very green floral. But when I do, it's always a more expensive scent. Like I've yet to find a green scent that's very affordable that I like. It tends to just go awry. But if you are looking for something a little more niche that is beautiful and a green floral, is Dauson by Diptyque. I've gotten actually very complimented on this scent lately, and I felt like I was a bit surprised because I know this isn't for everyone, and I think Diptyque in general isn't super safe to gift because they have a bit more interesting and complex scents, but they're stunning. I love the bottles. I think their candles are stunning, and they really do have quality to match up with the price. So this is a stunning one. Like I said, it's a lot more of a green floral, a bit of a kick to it. Oh, but such a stunning spring scent that is very compliment worthy apparently lately, or at least this spring it's really doing it for me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 10 of spring fragrance picks for this year. Definitely let me know in the comments below which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try, or what you're really loving for spring this year. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye!